ध्यानमूलं गुरोर्मूर्तिः पूजामूलं गुरोर्पदम् मन्त्रमूलं गुरोर्वाक्यम् भक्तिमूलं गुरोर्कृपा नमः कमलनाभाय नमः नमः कमलपादाय नमस्ते कमले क्षण यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तग्मंह देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशम् मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये. The divine souls will have a few minutes of Nam Sankirtan, and after that I'll speak on the topic of Ram Navmi. Bhajo Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram. Bhajo Raghupati Raghava Raja Bhajo Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram. Bhajo Raghupati Gaye Raghava Raja Bhajo Patit Pavan Sitaram. Bhajo Patit Pavan Sitaram. Bhajo Patit Pavan Sitaram. पतित पावन सीताराम।
भजो पतित पावन सीताराम।
भजो पतित पावन सीताराम।
भजो पतित पावन सीताराम।
भजो रघुपति राघव राजा राम।
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 भजो पतित पावन सीताराम।
भजो पतित पावन सीताराम।
भजो पतित पावन सीताराम।
भजो पतित पावन सीताराम।
भजो रघुपति राघव राजा राम।
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 बोलो साकेत बिहारी श्री राघवेंद्र सरकार की
जय।
Radhe Radhe to everyone and happy Ram Navmi to you. Ram Navmi is the appearance day of Bhagwan Ram. Navmi means the ninth, so it's the ninth day after the new moon. The moon is waxing or building and has been for 9 days, so there's another 6 days till the full moon. Navmi is just telling the day, basically the date according to the moon upon which Shri Ram appeared. The Navmi of Shukla Paksh, the 9th day of the building moon. But Ram, who is Ram? There's a big confusion about this. Even a great divine personality named Sati, you might be more familiar with her with the name Parvati. Even a great personality like her got confused about who Shri Ram is. Most of you know the main Ram Leelas. So you would have heard that when Ravana kidnapped Sita, then Ram was so much in separation from Sita that he was wandering in the jungles asking the trees and the hills and the animals, have you seen my Sita? Where is she? And he would faint sometimes in viraha. And it was in this state when Ram was in this way, just acting as if he wasn't all-knowing. God would know everything. He would know instantly who took Sita, where Sita is. I mean, Sita and Ram are one and the same. Purvameva maya prokta Ramo Narayana para Sita cha yogamayeti bodhitopi na buddhyase. Adhyatma Ramayana. Kumbhakarna is telling Ravana, don't you know Ram is Supreme God and Sita is his Yogamaya Shakti? I'm telling you and you're not listening. You're not accepting what I'm saying. But in fact, Ravana also accepted. Smritva smritva tadevaham ramoham brahma sanatana. Smritva smritva tadevaham ramam pashyami sarvatah. Ato janihi ramam tvam param brahma sanatanam. Adhyatma Ramayana. Ravan is saying, oh Ram, I only think of you and I see you everywhere. So I know you are the all-knowing, all-powerful, omnipresent, eternal, supreme Brahm. On one hand, we have certain divine personalities that we probably believe to not know who Ram is. They are knowing who he is. And then someone like Parvati, the Ardhangini of Lord Shankar, gets confused when she sees Lord Shankar going and doing pranam to Shri Ram. Oh, Ram is behaving like an ordinary man. He's walking around looking for Sita like an ignorant person. And Shankarji is going and doing pranam to him and saying he's the Lord of the three worlds. I'm so confused. So on one hand, she knew Shankarji cannot make a mistake. And on the other hand, she couldn't deny what her eyes were telling her, that Shri Ram is behaving as an ignorant person. So she decided to go and test Ram. She took the form of Sita. Not like we do when we're performing a leela on stage with makeup and dressing up. She is also Yogamaya Shakti. Parvati ji and Sita are not two, they're one. So Parvati took the form of Sita and went and sat on the path where Ram and Lakshman were coming. At that time she was called Sati, not Parvati. So she sat there in the guise of Sita. And Ram, who was looking for Sita everywhere, you would think that he would see her and be happy that, oh, I found my Sita, here you are. How did you get away from Ravan? But that's not how he reacted. He immediately became composed. And he said, Mataji, what are you doing here without Shankarji? So he obviously passed her test. What I'm saying is, even divine personalities may get confused about who Shri Ram is. On one hand, we are told he's God, and on the other hand, in his leelas, he many times behaves as an ordinary person. So who is he? We would have to go to the Vedas. And Ved tells us, according to his very name, exactly who he is. Ramatapani Upanishad says, Ramante yogino nante satyanande chidatmani iti rama padena sau parabrahma bhidhiyate. What does the name Ram mean? It means the one in whom even the great yogis whose minds are absorbed in the bliss of Nirakar Brahm, even their minds get forcefully attracted to the beauty and love of Shri Ram, and they just do ramante. They engross their mind they revel in that bliss of the personal form of God, Shri Ram. Ramante yogino nante. Satyanande chidatmani. He is Sat Chit Anand. Parabrahma abhidhiyate. He is Parabrahm. He is Supreme Brahm, Supreme God. So Ved is telling us exactly who Shri Ram is. Ra Shabdo Vishwavachano Maschapishwaravachaka Vishwanamishwaro yohi iti Ramah prakirtita. Ved is saying Ram, 2 syllables. The first syllable, Ra, means Vishwa, the universe. And Ma means Ishwar, the Lord, the governor, the controller. So Rama means the one who is the Lord of the entire universe, uncountable Brahmans. He is Shri Ram, so he is Supreme Brahm. When Ved says, in defining Brahm, Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayantyabhisam vishanti tad Brahm. Taittiriya Upanishad says, what is Brahm? Brahm is the one from whom all the souls emerge at the time of Srishti, in whom all the souls currently reside, and into whom all the souls merge at the time of Pralay, and he who is the final goal of all the souls. That is Brahm, and that Brahm is Shri Ram. So we understand in gist, who is Ram? He is God. He is Supreme Brahm. How did he come here on earth on Ram Navmi day? Was he born? Was it a chance happening? No, our scriptures say, Brahma is saying to Shri Krishna, who is none other than Ram, Asyapi deva vapusho madanugrahasya Svechamayasya natu bhutamayasya kopi. Bhagavatam. Oh, my Lord, you come here on earth of your own free will. Svecha. You decide and then you come. And your body is not made of panchamahabhut. Na bhutamayapi. Your body is not made of the elements of this world. Not like us. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam. Iha sansare khalu dustare, kripaya pare pahi murare. Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam, Bhaj Mudhamate. Jagadguru Shankaracharya says, ordinary souls are forced to be born again and again because of their past karma. And that karma dictates which souls will be their mother and father, where they'll be born, what kind of body they'll get, what species they'll be born into. All of that is dictated by their past karma. But God has no past karma hanging over his head. He is eternally free from all kinds of bondage. Then why would he come in this Mayic world? And how would he come in this Mayic world? It is not because he is bound to come. He chooses to come. And if his body is not made of the elements of this earth, then how does he appear here? How is he seen here? Although Kaushalya is known to be his mother, but his body was not formed in her womb in the way our body is formed. Our body is conceived in our mother's womb and then begins growing, and after a certain number of months we come from wherever we were in our last birth and we enter into that growing body in our mother's womb. in that way, we take a body. It wasn't ours before, and it won't be ours when we leave this world. So this body is not me, it's just a temporary possession. But when Shri Ram comes in this world, he brings his body with him, because he is eternally personified. Ram has always had his form as Ram. When he comes in this world, he just makes that form visible. And he wasn't born out of his mother's womb. Although Mata Kaushalya had her personal experience of being pregnant and feeling that there's a baby moving within her, and her belly grew and she grew heavy. She had all of that experience that a pregnant woman has. Yet, that was all the miracle of Yoga Maya, manipulating the air within her belly to give her that experience and those feelings. Really, she was only impregnated with the bliss of Shri Ram. She just felt blissful. But there was no fetus growing inside of her. Then, where did Ram come from? Well, Ram is already everywhere. He's omnipresent in his divine form, not just in an abstract, formless way. So all he does is make himself visible at one place. And that's what he did. All of a sudden, Mata Kaushalya felt, although she was just feeling very blissful and feeling that Ram is inside of her, and then the feeling went away. She felt that what happened? She opened her eyes and Ram was standing in front of her. Full-grown Ram, not a baby. So there was no way she had gone into labor and given birth to Shri Ram. Although he appeared right at the end of her 9 months of simulated pregnancy. But there was no actual pregnancy and no labor and no birth. Then why do we say this is Ram's birthday? Because birth in Sanskrit is Janma, and Janma comes from the root Jani Pradurbhave, which means to appear. Bhai Prakata Kripala Dina Dayala Kaushalya Hitakari. Ramayana tells us Shri Ram did prakat. He appeared. We also say he took avatar, which means he descended from the divine world, from a higher plane to this mundane material plane. But it's in fact most accurate to say he appeared, because he's already present in this world. He doesn't have to come from somewhere. He is already present in the belly of Mother Kaushalya, as he's present in each of your bellies. Your belly is not just full of the chole bhatura you just ate for the special Ram Navmi dinner. Ram is in there as well. He's in every particle of your being and every particle of this universe. So for him to appear is nothing. Now one shouldn't think that Ram has appeared now and we can see him. He's standing there in front of Mother Kaushalya, so it means he's no longer omnipresent. Or he's no longer in his divine abode, Saket. No, it is not so. He simultaneously remains omnipresent and is in his divine abode and is appearing on our earth planet and is appearing on other earth planets. As his devotee Kagbhushundi saw when he visited other earth planets in other galaxies, he saw, oh, on some of these earth planets, Shri Ram is also taking avatar over here. And he's doing some similar leelas over here. Not an exact replica, but a lot of similarities. And also not synchronized chronologically. But the point is, he's taking avatar in uncountable places right now. And he's omnipresent. And he's in his divine abode with his divine associates. And he's, well, at this time, back in Treta Yuga, he was also taking avatar on our earth. Now you understand that Shri Ram is Supreme God and he's not born in a material way, although he simulates a material pregnancy for his mother, but he actually just appears. God is never born. God doesn't incarnate. God appears or descends. Now you've understood who Shri Ram is, and you've understood how he appears in this world. But why does he come? Was he bored in the divine world and wanted to come over here to amuse himself? Lokavattu Leela Kaivalyam, Brahma Sutra says. He came over here for some playfulness. He might have been bored, or maybe he was feeling a lot of tension over there in the divine world. So he made this sansar, he made this material world for his enjoyment. So one might wonder, when Vedas describe the divine world as being perfect and the very form of bliss, what tension would God have? An ordinary material person gets stressed out by their job. But God is always blissful, no matter how much tension we may think we give him with our misbehavior. God is ever blissful. He doesn't need a break. He doesn't need a vacation. And he doesn't need to come here for his own enjoyment. What enjoyment could there possibly be for any divine personality, God or a saint, in this world, this Mayic world, where everything is temporary and ever degrading, and all the types of pleasures are limited and dissatisfying? Why would they come over here for enjoyment? They already have perfect enjoyment in the divine world. So he must not have come here for that reason. Some would say, oh, there was a need for him over here. Ravana was terrorizing the earth, so he had to come to kill the demons and protect the good people. Did he really have to come over here for that? He lives in Ravana's heart also. He could have just flipped a switch and Ravana would have died. Did he have to take avatar in the home of Kaushalya and Dashrath, grow up, learn to walk, learn to talk, learn to shoot bow and arrow, grow up more, have Sita get kidnapped, then raise an army of bears and monkeys to help him, and then go fight a war and defeat Ravan? He didn't have to do any of that. He could have just thought. See, Ram creates the universe with a mere thought. So kamayat bahusyam prajayeti sa tapo tapyat sa tapas taptva. Taittiriya Upanishad says God just thinks and this universe comes into being. And suptam chasya mahapralayaha. He just thinks or holds his breath or goes to sleep, and the whole universe ends. If Ram can end the universe with a mere thought, what is one Rakshas like Ravan? So he didn't have to come here to fight demons. He didn't have to come here to protect anyone. He's already following behind each and every one of his bhakt saints to protect them, and he's already residing within each and every soul's heart. He can protect anyone. He can defeat any demon at any time. Then why again would he come on this earth? There doesn't seem to be a valid reason. Was it to help the souls get God realized? Someone may argue no. Because what happens when we meet Ram during his avatar? Do we have the same reaction that King Janak did? Like we're saying, Ramante yogino nante. King Janak is one of those yogis, one of those jnanis, whose mind was completely absorbed in the bliss of formless God, which is divine and unlimited. And the moment he saw Shri Ram, Inahi vilokat ati anuraga, barbas brahma sukhahi man tyaga. He exclaimed that my mind has abandoned the bliss of formless Brahm now. I have been forcefully attracted to the divine beauty, the loving beauty of Shri Ram. It was instant for him because he already had divine senses and a divine mind. But for us, Jaki rahi bhavana jaisi, Prabhu murati dekhi tin taisi. Because we are under Maya, we're unable to perceive Ram in his true divine form, so we don't experience divine bliss when we meet him. He's taken infinite avatar, we've had infinite lifetimes, so we've met him face to face infinite times. And yet we've never become God realized because of it, because we only saw him according to the state of our own heart. If our mind was more sattvic, we were attracted to him, but we still didn't know he was God, and we didn't experience divine bliss. If our mind was more rajas, we felt ambivalent about him. And if our mind was more tamas, we were repulsed by him or fearful of him. Such is the speciality of God's divine body. In the world, everyone could agree. You have a beauty contest, and then everybody judges together, this is the most beautiful person, that's the most beautiful person, and they more or less agree. But with Shri Ram, if Ram was there and everybody was trying to judge how beautiful, how attractive is he, the one with the tamas heart would say, attractive? He's horrible. He has 10 heads. He looks like a demon. And the one with a rajas heart would say, he's nothing special. The one with a sattvic heart would say, yes, he's very beautiful, but still wouldn't know he's God. And the divine saint might faint seeing Ram. He would experience so much bliss. So that's the speciality of God's divine body, that it is seen according to the state of the heart of the beholder. Whereas in the world, it's not like that. People are people. They're okay, good, normal, bad, but everybody more or less agrees. So the point is, when Ram comes here on earth, it's not that he can walk around and just grace ordinary souls and make them God realized just by meeting them. If that were the case, then he could just spend all his time doing that and we'd all become God realized, or we would have become God realized long ago. But since we're not qualified, we don't benefit from meeting him. Chidanandamaya deha tumhari, bigat bikar jan adhikari. Valmiki ji said to Ram when they met in his ashram that you can only be seen by one who is qualified, because your very body is made of Satchit Anand. It's made of divine substance, not material substance. So one has to be qualified to see you as you really are. Then we still come back to the question, why does Ram come? He doesn't need to come to kill demons or protect anyone. He doesn't need to come for his own enjoyment. His coming here doesn't directly benefit us by making us instantly God realized if we meet him. Then why come? Bhakta hetu Bhagavan Prabhu Ram dhare utanu bhup kiye charit pavan param prakrit nar anurup. Tulsidas ji says, oh, my dear Ram, you take the form of a human, meaning you already have your divine form, but you come here on this earth and behave as a human being for the benefit of your devotees. Charita pavana param. Charit means his leelas, his actions. They are pavan param. They are supremely, divinely purifying. Just like God's name has a purifying effect, God's leelas have a purifying effect. Meditating on the form of God or on His leelas or chanting His name all has a purifying effect. Soi gun gai bhagat bhav tarahi Kripa sindhu janahit tanu dharahi. What is the means of crossing over this ocean of cosmic existence? None other than chanting these names, qualities, and leelas of Shri Ram. So if He hadn't come here on earth and revealed His names, forms, and leelas, then what material would we have to meditate upon? What material would we have to use in devotion? We wouldn't have any material. What He does and reveals when He comes here is documented by the divine saints like Valmiki, Tulsidas, Vedavyas. They document His leelas, tell about His form, tell about His greatness, and tell how to do devotion to Him by making use of all that divine material. Bhavesmin klishyamanana mavidya kama karma bhi Shravana smaranarhani karishyan nitikechana. Bhagavatam. Kunti Devi is saying to Shri Krishna, the people of this world are tormented by their desires and attachments and by their past karma. How can they reach you? Their mind is so caught in this world. They can't extract their mind from this world for a half a second to think about you. Shri Krishna says, no problem. People have worldly minds, but they still love beautiful things. They want love. They want something beautiful. They want friendship. They're attracted by stories. So I'm going to reveal and perform such leelas in this world that will attract the mind not only of Paramahansas like Videha Janak, but also of ordinary worldly people will be attracted by these stories that are actual real happenings that happened, His leelas that took place on this earth. So Shri Krishna, Shri Ram, they come and they reveal those leelas. Then Shravana Smaranarhani. The souls do devotion by listening to, reading those leelas, and then doing smaran of them. Practicing Rup Dhyan by thinking of Ram's form, Ram's leelas. That in itself, because it is Pavan Param, has the power to purify our heart. And this is the means of crossing over Maya and becoming qualified to meet Ram face to face. This is the core. This is not only the answer to the question, why does Shri Ram take avatar on our earth? It is also the core knowledge of bhakti. Jap tap niyam yog nij dharma Shruti sambhav nana shubh karma Jnana dayadam tirath majjan Jahan lagi dharma kahe shruti sajjan Agam nigam puran aneka Padhe sune kar phal prabhu eka Tav pad pankaj priti nirantar Sab sadhan kar yah phal sundar. Whatever spiritual practices or methods of practicing devotion a person may have heard of or may adopt themselves, they must remember that the outcome of those practices should be devotion to the lotus feet of Shri Ram, love for the lotus feet of Shri Ram. Because milahina raghupati binu anuraga kiye jog jap jnana viraga. You may practice yoga, you may practice jap, gyan, detachment, renunciation, and yet none of that will result in receiving the grace of Shri Ram. You must develop love for him. Rama hi keval prema pyara. If you want to receive his grace, you have to cause his heart to melt. And the only thing that causes his heart to melt is your loving surrender, your childlike attachment to him. How do we develop that? Simply through remembering his leelas, chanting his name, meditating upon his divine form. This is the method of devotion, and he has provided us all the material we require to follow this method of devotion. And he did that by descending on this earth and staying for 11,000 years, spending 14 of those years in Banvas, which have some of the sweetest leelas, but also ruling the city of Ayodhya for 11,000 years before he returned to his divine abode, Saket, taking all of the Ayodhya Vasis with him because they were also descended divine personalities who had accompanied Shri Ram to help him reveal his leelas. Who would he employ as actors in his movie? He's the director and the star, but he needs some supporting actors. We don't even accept him as God when we meet him face to face, so how would we perform in his leelas? So he brings millions of his saints with him. Humans, animals, birds, trees, and they populate the area where Shri Ram lives and help him to reveal those leelas on earth. And when he leaves, they all return with him to the divine abode. So we must keep in mind that Ram is neither born nor does he die. He vanished into the Saryu river, the divine river flowing through Ayodhya, and returned to his divine abode, Saket. But as we know, he doesn't come and he doesn't go. Although we say he returned to his divine abode, really it means he was omnipresent before. He made himself visible at one place, then he made that form invisible. But he's still omnipresent. So the saints could see him everywhere before. We couldn't. Then he became visible even to material eyes at one place, but saints could still see him everywhere else as well. And then he made that form disappear. So he was no longer visible at that one place to everybody, including material eyes. He made that form disappear and still remains as omnipresent and residing in our heart. This is the secret of Ram's appearance on this earth as well as his disappearance. So on this Ram Navmi day, we remember, we appreciate and feel gratitude that he came and revealed his own self, name, forms, and leelas on this earth for our devotional use so that we would have that material. And we also make use of that material by practicing devotion and honoring that reason why Shri Ram came here. So we'll spend the last few minutes we have here tonight singing a song, a kirtan written by Jagadguru Shri Kripalu Ji Maharaj, describing the scene that day when the whole Brahmand found out that Supreme God Shri Ram has descended in the home of Kaushalya and Dashrath, choosing them to be his parents, adopting them as parents, as his divine grace upon them. नृप दशरथ घर बजत बधाई
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 बजत बधाई आज बजत बधाई।
बधाई हो, बधाई आज बजत बधाई।
बजत बधाई आज बजत बधाई।
बजत बधाई आज बजत बधाई।
बजत बधाई।
बजत बधाई।
बजत बधाई।
बजत बधाई।
नृप दशरथ घर 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 बजत बधाई।
सकल जगत को मात पिता जो।
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 सो कौशल्य ही मातु बनाई।
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 नृप दशरथ घर बजत बधाई।
नृप दशरथ घर बजत बधाई।
यह अचरज सुनी विधि हरि हर सुर।
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 जय जयकार करत रघुराई। राघवेंद्र सरकार की
जय।
जय जयकार करत रघुराई।
जय जयकार करत रघुराई।
नृप दशरथ घर बजत बधाई।
नृप दशरथ घर बजत बधाई।
देहि भय विदेह अवध महा।
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 पुनि विदेह देहि पद पाई।
मुनि विदेह देहि पद पाई।
पुनि विदेह देहि पद पाई।
मुनि विदेह देहि पद पाई।
इंद्रिय मन बुद्धि भय राममय।
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 जड़ चेतन नहीं परत लखाई,
जड़ चेतन नहीं परत लखाई,
जड़ चेतन नहीं परत लखाई,
जड़ चेतन नहीं परत लखाई।
नृप दशरथ घर बजत बधाई,
बधाई हो।
दशरथ घर बजत बधाई,
राम कृपालु कृपाते हूँ,
राम कृपालु कृपाते होहूँ,
राम कृपालु कृपाते हूँ,
राम कृपालु कृपाते होहूँ,
आजु कृपालु बधाई गाई,
आज कृपालु बधाई गाई,
आजु कृपालु बधाई गाई,
बधाई हो।
आज कृपालु बधाई गाई,
नृप दशरथ घर बजत बधाई,
बधाई हो।
दशरथ घर बजत बधाई,
नृप दशरथ घर बजत बधाई,
नृप दशरथ घर बजत बधाई,
बजत बधाई आज बजत बधाई,
बजत
बधाई आज बजत बधाई,
बजत बधाई आज बजत बधाई,
बजत बधाई आज बजत बधाई,
बजत बधाई,
बजत बधाई,
बजत बधाई,
बजत बधाई,
नृप दशरथ घर भजत 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 बधाई,
यह अचरज सुनी विधि हरि हर सुर,
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 जय जयकार करत रघुराई,
जय हो।
जयकार करत रघुराई,
जय जयकार करत रघुराई,
जय हो।
राघवेंद्र सरकार की
जय।
जय जयकार करत रघुराई,
जय
जयकार करत रघुराई,
बजत बधाई आज बजत बधाई,
बधाई हो। आज बजत बधाई,
बजत बधाई आज बजत बधाई,
बजत बधाई आज बजत बधाई,
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 नृप दशरथ घर बजत बधाई,
नृप दशरथ घर भजत बधाई,
नृप दशरथ घर बजत बधाई,
नृप दशरथ घर भजत बधाई,
बजत बधाई आज बजत बधाई,
भजत
बधाई आज बजत बधाई,
राम कृपालु कृपाते हूँ
राम कृपालु कृपाते हूँ
राम कृपालु कृपाते हूँ
राम कृपालु कृपाते हूँ
आज कृपालु बधाई गाई
आज कृपालु बधाई गाई
आज कृपालु बधाई गाई
आज कृपालु बधाई गाई
नृप दशरथ घर बजत बधाई
दशरथ घर भजत
बधाई
नृप दशरथ घर बजत बधाई
दशरथ
घर भजत बधाई
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
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 जय हो
जय सिया राम
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 जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम जय सिया राम जय सिया राम जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
जय सिया राम जय सिया राम
बोलो राघवेंद्र सरकार की There are a couple questions about Shri Ram left unanswered. One being, what is his relation to Shri Krishna? And the other question is that confusion I brought up about Parvati ji. How is it that a divine personality could become confused? What is the secret behind Parvati ji's confusion? We'll be answering these questions this weekend. So today is Wednesday, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we'll be having a Ram Navmi intensive here at Radha Madhav Dham. Banchari Didi will be joining us that time. So on Saturday night, Didi Ji will be giving a lecture, and on Sunday morning, I will also be giving a lecture. So between the two of us, we'll definitely answer these questions, and I'm sure cover many other topics as well. Those will be broadcast live, of course, on YouTube, and you're welcome to come and join us here for the intensive. Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Shri Ram. We'll have Abhishek of Sita Ram now, so we can line up and take turns doing that. Kirtan will also be happening, so you don't all have to line up at once. When you see the lines getting short, then you can go join in. Otherwise, you can sit in the Kirtan.